Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Real Ones Canes podcast. He is Cam Underwood, managing editor of a great website we'd like to call stateoftheu.com. You can follow Cam on the intercyber webs at Underwood Sports. I'm Brian the Beast London. You can find me at Miami Radio Beast. I don't edit anything, not even my own language. Ever. Cam, it is a bye week here in Hurricanes Nation. We've had two of those in the last 3 weeks, which is, again, we've opined about in several episodes.
Yes.
As much as I like it for me personally, because any bye week is a good bye week because I get to do things that need to get done that just lack during the other Saturdays. I don't think it's good in this case. I'd rather have one 3 weeks from now or 2 weeks from now or something like that. And also, let me ask you this question. Do you believe in momentum? Like the Canes are 5-0. Would you like to keep playing?
I want to keep playing. I wish that there was a game this week because we have to sit on the absolute abomination of that fourth quarter in Tallahassee for 2 weeks. I really wanted the ability to hit the practice field, correct the errors, get back on, show and prove right now. It's what we were able to do after the Notre Dame game, remember, which had not the same but similar shenanigans at the end. All of a sudden, linebacker not in coverage, tight end 65 yards, a Notre Dame offense that couldn't do anything, walked down, was able to go score and tie that game. Hey, we're going to work on it. We're going to fix it. And then showed and proved the next week. Now, I know it was against Bethune-Cookman, but still, you can only make the plays against the team that's in front of you. So for that reason, I really do. Also, it is we've already seen, bumps and bruises with this team through 5 games in 6 weeks. Now, the next 7 weeks in a row, no break, right? So, the time that we had, to rest guys and get back good before Florida State and, whatever now, there's no more of that. So, I hope that whatever the honey-do list was in the London household, I hope that you got it all done now because there's no break until December. And I just think I'm not going to talk more about it because I've said a lot. But for those reasons, I wish that I really would have preferred to have a game this week for that reason. More than just winning games, because I still believe that we're a more talented and better team than the teams that we're going to face on the schedule. But specifically, and you saw Jacoby Thomas after the game being what's different about this team? We're not happy with how that game ended. We know we got stuff to work on. Put it on the field right now. That's the momentum that I would have wanted to have right now.
So because of the and by the way, everyone go to stateoftheu.com and you can watch my road video diary, the vlog that I did for stateoftheu.com. And you can see that. But because of the nature of, and I didn't film this because in the bowels of Doak Campbell Stadium is the visiting locker room, and literally right next to it, within feet, is the little visiting media room, which is completely antiquated and needs to be redone. They spent millions and millions of dollars redoing the stadium, adding sports bars and clubs and all of the stuff. Maybe do another media room, but there was definitely some celebration in the locker room regarding this win because of state champs. And Mario was yelling at some equipment kid to go out and get the state champ sign that fans had and blah, blah, blah. We want to have that in the locker room and do all that stuff. But the players that came in to the press conference all said, yeah, we're happy, but we're not satisfied. We are not satisfied with this victory.
Good.
Great, we're state champs. Great, we're state champs. Let's fix. We got stuff to fix. Let's get on it.
Right, and again, we talked about it in the recap show. This should have been almost like a 50 burger to 10. That would have been more indicative of the actual game, and we didn't have that kind of disparity on the scoreboard. So yeah, it's great that we beat them yet again, state champs. They haven't beaten us in almost 1,000 days. Da 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 da. But you can't go and leave from that game feeling whole cloth good when you saw the last 11 and a half minutes of the ball game. You know what I mean? You can't have no. And if you are if you're fully satisfied with the Florida State game performance from like top to bottom, front to back. I don't want, like, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me, because you look at sport very differently than I do. There is so much that needed to be fixed. It could have and should have been so much more of a blowout. And I'm glad to hear that, yeah, they're accepting of the result and, happy for the result, but pissed off about the process and, the things that fell short of standard in that game, of which there were many, many, many. And not just in the fourth quarter, by the way. Remember, we had a touchdown come off of the board because of illegal motion, because the guy went forward at the snap on the other side of the field. You know what I mean? Like, buddy, there's plenty to look at. So I'm very glad to hear, look, we got the result that we wanted. That's good. We still got things to fix. We got to go.
So speaking of that, let's transition. It's a good segue. Things we have to fix include penalties. So you and I were talking before the show about the number of penalties that this team has committed. It's 38 penalties for 314 yards. Can you tell me where that ranks nationally? Because it can't be good.
Oh, God. I went
I thought you had your numbers ready. I was ready to throw it to you.
You did, but I was looking up other things because we were talking about other things. That is, Miami is tied for 99th nationally in raw number of penalties at 38. They are tied, I believe, or not tied, but by themselves in 86th in penalty yardage. And that equates to 7.6 penalties a game for 62.8 yards of penalties.
So in yards, in penalty yards per game, they are at 97th. None of it is good, Cam.
It's objectively terrible. Adam Lichtenstein of the Sun Sentinel wrote a nice piece about that and everything. And it's pretty much gotten worse every week. The only week that it got a little bit better was from USF to Florida. It got a little bit better. It went from 9 to 6 from game 3 to game 4. And then more than doubled the number and like quintupled the yardage, because the penalties against Florida were like all 5-yard things.
So, as Cam will attest, I was ready to jump all over the offensive line, which would not bode well for me because those are big guys. And if I tried to jump on them, bad things would happen to me. But we have seen, as much as we believe that Miami's offensive line, performance-wise, is arguably the best in the country, we've had some pre-snap infractions that have been awfully frustrating. According to ChatGPT, who I had go through every play-by-play log from every game, this is the offensive line's penalties. There was none, again, according to ChatGPT. I don't know if this is right. And I only had it look for false starts, offsides, and illegal snaps. Notre Dame, none. Bethune-Cookman, none. Against USF, I should say, there was 2 false starts against Maui Noah, a false start on Keelan Marion, which is not the offensive line, a false start on Okunlola, and a false start on Matthew McCoy. In the Florida game, Inez Cooper jumped offsides, and then there was the 3 illegal snaps against Brockermeyer. I think we're already missing 1 illegal or 2 illegal snaps, 2 other illegal snaps by Brockermeyer, because I believe he's had 5. And then in the Florida State game, Inez Cooper jumped, Markel Bell jumped. So roughly speaking, 12 to 14 offsides, illegal snaps, false starts in the offensive line, which is about a third or more of the total penalties that Miami's committed. But there's been penalties of all sorts of varieties. So, but let me ask you this question, because when Miami won titles, they were always very penalized.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I haven't looked. I'm not doing my due diligence here in looking at this number, but it used to be that the teams that won were always more penalized. I'm wondering if, yes, you'd like to make sure that you get this stuff under control. On the other hand, they have not lost a game because of this.
They're going to, if this continues, and the kind of penalties that we had when we were winning championships were celebrating, taking your helmet off. The 91 Cotton Bowl against Texas, where the Miami rule was born. Like, we're bigger, badder, faster than y'all. We're going to, talk all that stuff. We're going to do all that stuff and give me the 15 yards because I done already scored, bro. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. These are holding penalties. These are late hit personal foul penalties. None of this is the same. So I strongly dissent to what you're saying. I think that these kind of penalties can and will hurt the team, especially in the volume. Like it's gotten more and more and more and more. Like if I go back over to my other window, and I should have had that, and I just look at the game log of penalties: 6 in the opener against Notre Dame, 4 against Bethune, 9 against USF, 6 against Florida, and 13 against Florida State. And I know that we won that game soundly. If one of those onside kicks goes differently, we might be having a different conversation. You know what I mean? And then you're talking about, okay, well, yeah, the penalty didn't hurt us. The penalty took 7 off the board from Malachi Toney. The penalties, a holding penalty put us behind the sticks to start another drive in the fourth quarter. No. I mean, lovingly and respectfully, I think that's way off base, because the penalties that we are having and manifesting are nowhere near those. And I think that's way.
So,
nah.
Again, my brain is mush. So for me to remember, like, back to the USF game and like the penalties and what have you, like, I'm trying to think of the ones that really piss you off, because some of them, like some of the penalties are allowable and kind of like are part of the game. Aggressive type penalties, as long as it's not targeting, that sort of thing, to me are like kind of part of the game. I'm trying to think of like what to you is unacceptable as far as the penalties go. Like which ones?
I mean, procedural and just like lack of attention, like I don't like, why are we getting face masks? You know what I mean? And I get that that's kind of an effort thing, and like
it's got that is
hand placement, but like there are plenty of things that are not. No, they're not acceptable. And I want to just say again, it is laughable that Miami got called for holding and they tackled Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesdora and the others up front and didn't have a single holding call against them, including when 2 dudes tackled Ruben Bain in the end zone, which would have been a safety at 28-11 to make it 30-11, and Miami getting the ball back. But regardless of if they're acceptable or not, they cannot be acceptable in this number, period. I'm sorry. So, but no, at this point, the volume of penalties negates any penalty being an acceptable penalty. Like, it has to get better. Like 6 being the floor for the number of penalties this year, unacceptable. Through 5 games, unacceptable. No, I'm sorry. Like, we're at a point, you either coach it or you allow it. And this is going to, you cannot have that many penalties, because you're going to either give the other team opportunities with the ball or inhibit your own opportunities and or take points off the board, which has happened multiple times already this year. No, it is unacceptable. It has to get fixed. And I mean, like, I'm talking, I need like a 0, 1, 2, 3. I mean, I need a low single digit number. Again, I say for everyone to hear, the fewest number of penalties we've had in the game this year is 6. Unacceptable, period. And I don't care if those are effort, if those are technique, if those are you're not good enough and you got to tackle somebody along the offensive line. I don't care. It's not acceptable at this point. It's not. And I'm not going to sit here and try to mitigate it and try to talk my way through it. Like, no, it's not acceptable. If we are having the standard be the standard and we're going to compete for championships, which is what this team can do and has set themselves up in a position to be able to do, absolutely not. It has to get fixed.
I don't disagree with you. I was just trying to be nice about it.
I'm not being nice about it. What's there to be nice about? We're going to be nice about it, and then you and I are going to be here in a couple of weeks, and we're going to talk about, well, a couple penalties and a couple things went wrong, and Miami lost this game, and what do we do? No. They're big boys. They're grown adults. I don't need to coddle them or anybody listening. No, I'll be the bad guy. Hate on me. Let's be jerks. I'll be that guy. Good cop is over there. Bad cop right here, Cam Underwood. I will be the bad cop in service of the standard so this team plays to what I believe their potential is. I will gladly bear that cross.
So, These are the numbers I have for me. And again, I'm just throwing this out there because I brought it up, and I'm just kind of like finishing that train of thought. Last year, Ohio State was 16th in fewest penalties. Michigan was third. I'm going back year to year to year. So 23, Michigan third in fewest penalties. Georgia 39th in fewest penalties. Georgia 20th in fewest penalties. Alabama 48th in fewest penalties. LSU 107th in fewest penalties. Again, arguably one of the best teams of all time. Clemson 29th in fewest penalties.
They scored 1 billion points.
Alabama 21st in fewest penalties. Clemson in 85th in fewest penalties.
Most of those that you just said were top 50 with a couple of outliers, which is like twice as good in preventing penalties than we are with Miami. Do you think that this offense is analogous to the 2019 LSU offense?
No,
I don't. So I think it needs to get better. Do you think that this overall is whatever year that was, 15 Clemson that you just said?
2016, yeah.
16 Clemson. Analogous, but still, we're not even to their level. We're worse in penalties than that team. That's what I'm talking about, bro. And most of these that you're talking about are in the top 50, if not top 40 of penalties. And we're down in the 90s and hundreds. No. And no. And you're laughing now, but we're not going to be laughing when it happens against Syracuse or it happens against NC State in the wrong time with the wrong whatever juju in the stadium. And then we're sitting here talking about having lost a game that we had no business to lose because we played down to and below the level of talent of the opposition, and we gave them time after time after chance because we did stupid stuff. No.
Transition. All right, we're gonna move on from there because I need you. We need Cam not to have anything bad happen to him while doing the show. So just deep rest, woo-saw, serenity now.
I'm good.
Just a news item because I'm gonna go on my soapbox in the next segment. So we'll let you calm down for a moment. The transfer portal is now officially January 16th to January 2nd to January 16th in 2026. What does this mean to me? How make this make sense to me and what they just did?
All right. The one extension is because the playoff goes later. So teams that are playing up to January 12th, they will have an additional 5-day window after their final game for players if they have not already decided their portal status. What this is there's a one-time window to enter the transfer portal. You do not have to decide where you're going to end up, even if that is back where you first started. But if you desire to evaluate the landscape and potentially going somewhere else, you have to enter your name in that 2 weeks. It is helpful because it is not during bowl season, and also away from early signing day, because everything was on top of each other in the last couple of years. So you're trying to do the high school recruiting thing and close that out, but then also this, and guys are like, "Hey, coach, I'm leaving." It's just like, well, there was a lot of that.
It makes roster management impossible that way.
Right. So it makes it a little bit more manageable. And this is a thing that coaches were clamoring for also, because, even we know that Mario Cristobal and staff are tireless with their work, but even those guys need a vacation, here and there. And they did, it was literally 0 days off. And it was just, I think this is part and parcel of, you saw, Chip Kelly leave a head coaching job for a coordinator job. It's just like, I just got to call plays. Nick Saban leaving college football, I think, is directly correlated to this. So yeah, it does streamline the process, tighten it up, and say, okay, instead of it being spread out both in like the timeline, because I think you had like 3 weeks before, and there were multiple entry times. It is the one. It will change things because, hey, Miami got a couple late additions through the spring portal entries. Guys like Jacoby Thomas, your National Defensive Player of the Week last week for an incredible game in Florida State, by the way. So it will change some of that, and it will speed up the process for any who are thinking of leaving, and then also give just a measure of certainty to the teams in terms of their own roster management. So it is it will be all compacted because, again, you're taking things that happened over 6 or 7 weeks across 2 different windows and, putting it down, compressing it into the 1-2 week window. But I think it is a good, solid move. It separates it from the high school recruiting time, and it does just kind of give clarity for everybody on, okay, this is who's in the portal. This is who we can contact. Well, even you can go in the portal with a do not contact moniker or whatever. But it just gives a little bit clarity for everybody for roster management, and I think that's a positive for the sport of college football, and then for everybody moving forward.
I was just kind of thinking to myself because I'm looking at the portal window, and I'm like, well, when does the second semester? When do classes start for the second semester? When do guys have to be enrolled? All that stuff. It's January 19th for the University of Miami, so the portal will close before that. But
the portal entry?
Portal entry, right? Right. Yeah, right. So,
is that the last day to drop ad?
No, that's not the last day to drop ad. That I would have to dig further. So there's probably another week after that of a window of when people can get onto campus and then be able to enroll and all that stuff.
Academic calendar for spring of 2026. As soon as the PDF loads on my computer, the last day to add a class is January the 21st at the University of Miami.
Yeah. So okay, there you go. Thank you for that. All right, we're going to take a break. On the other side, a couple of topics I want to get into because in my head I've been ranting about them for a while now. So we will do that on the other side. You're listening and watching the Real Ones Canes podcast. Welcome back to the Real Ones Canes podcast. I am trying not to laugh because in the break, I put my glasses up on my head. If you're watching, you see me do that. And I was just looking at some stuff. I was drinking some water. And then we were about to start the segment. And Ken's like, hey, man, the glasses are on top of your head, not on your face. And then I put them down, but then I continued to laugh for a minute. And we started the show, but then I couldn't talk. And then we had to restart the show. And there you are, behind the scenes of the Real Ones Canes podcast. Speaking of behind the scenes, it's a great segue to what is up at the stateoftheu.com, like behind the scenes of my trip to Tallahassee and a lot of other great stuff, Cam.
Yeah, man, the feed is popping. You have, the new graphic up there, cinematic highlights, the state of Miami. We'll book them up from Secret Base. They did a beef history of Miami and Florida State before that game video. So that's up there for you to watch. In case you're wondering, you can make State of the U show up in your Google searches. And there is a piece from Beth Mayman, our league manager, on how to do that. There is the Beast's travel vlog. Oh, with some comments. Look at that. We rank all of the teams in the state of Florida every single week. I guarantee you Miami is up top because we are state champs. There are picks of the week. You have Isle Wild Weekend, a nice op-ed and look ahead from Justin DeTavio. Ruben Bain has achieved some absurd numbers that even Chase Young and Aiden Hutchinson, who were both finalists for the Heisman Trophy, did not reach. ACC Power Rankings, and just looking at the odds of the season, and even more. StateofU.com. It is only a click away. Please come over and fan with us and enjoy.
I'm thinking that we have a special Friday night game against Louisville a week from today. Maybe I will do a home video diary so people can see the behind the scenes of what it's like in the Canes press box.
Hey, that might not be a bad thing. I mean, we run into people, over when we go park, and I mean, I know I try to hit up a couple tailgates and see some, alums and friends of mine and things like that. But then also, it's just like, what do y'all be doing? You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And where do you go? I get a little bit of that. So we got a little bit of the taste of the road and get the taste of home, potentially from Mr. Ledman. Well, we shall see.
Basically, I just like to hear myself speak. That's my issue. All right, a couple of topics I want to get into. One came out of Mario's appearance on the David Pollack podcast, which is also carried by the Believe Network, which is what the Real Ones Canes podcast is on. Props to the people at Believe for giving us the platform. And basically, Mario said he would like to see Heisman and other postseason awards happen after all the postseason games. And I kind of like that idea. There's always been that Heisman jinx that people have talked about, whether you believe in it or not, or whether it's come to fruition or not that season or what have you. But, the guy that wins the Heisman and then goes and plays in the national championship game and has a bad game, it's because he won the Heisman. I don't know. Maybe. But I like to. I vote for the Biletnikoff Award, and it is kind of weird that the award is handed out before the end of the season. Do you have any strong takes on this? I kind of like the idea of everything is over. Now let's give out awards.
I think that is completely off base for the sport of college football. College football is always focused on the regular season since its inception 100 and something years ago. I do not agree. I do not think that they should change. The regular season is what it is. And then bowl games especially are exhibitions. They're not really even, I mean, they're games, but they are not part of the same season in the same kind of a way. So for me, doing what has always been done instead of and saying, regular season happens, and then we give the awards based upon that, which is the season, I think is the better course forward.
Okay. I can get along with that. I can go with that. What if, though, as like a compromise, we take into account only the regular season, but we actually give out the award, the Heisman ceremony being after the postseason is over?
Oh! If that were the case, I'm okay. If that were the case, I'm fine with giving the award whenever the award is given. I would just like the evaluative portion to be regular season. So yeah, I'm not tied to, the Tuesday before Christmas or whatever, that is traditional for the Heisman Trophy. I'm not tied to that date. But yeah, and so maybe that's just a difference in how we looked at it. I took Mario's statements as looking.
I mean, I'm guessing he might have meant what you're thinking of, and yeah. I could see both sides of that. Although I tend to agree with you more. I just want I don't want the award ceremonies because award season is crazy, and like the quarterbacks and these guys are all over the place, all over the country. Like, let's let them prepare for whatever's coming up. There's a playoff now. There's all sorts of things happening. Like, let's focus on the main thing and then give out the awards when everyone's done playing football for the year.
I mean, there is another awards show later. What, the college football awards? Isn't that after the?
Yeah. Well, yes, and then there's also like the ESPYs. I don't know when those happen and blah blah blah. I mean, that's in July, but
exactly. But yeah, I hear you. But yeah, as long as the evaluative portion for the awards is the regular season, then I'm fine with giving the award whenever. I do not want to change and say, okay, then all of a sudden, bowl games and conference championship games and college football playoff games, and all of a sudden, all of that is inclusive into the evaluative process. I strongly disagree with that, regardless of when the award would then be given.
And then I have an additional scheduling hot take I'd like to throw out there.
Please.
And I have a feeling that you're going to come off the top belt with a jackhammer or something. I don't believe we should have preseason rankings. I think they're dumb. I think they're stupid. Matter of fact, I don't think we should have rankings until like week 4 of the season at all. I give you Texas and Penn State.
I mean, you thought that I was going to disagree with a correct opinion. I have no idea why. I don't see I see the value because it sets up narratives for people to talk about. And it's just like, it's a thing, like people love lists and rankings and like, it's the ever present kind of a thing. You don't have any kind of content. You worked in radio, top 5 Miami Hurricanes players now with your, everybody knows it. And it's just the manifestation thereof. But yeah, I would not be anywhere tired if the preseason rankings were to be done away with.
Okay.
But they won't be for these reasons.
I agree with you. But on the other hand, right, like if the Warriors are playing the Knicks in a in the first game of the NBA season, right? Mm-hmm. Those are 2 huge names, West Coast, East Coast. It doesn't matter like where they're ranked or if they're going to go to the playoffs or whatever. Everyone's going to tune in anyways, right? Big players, right? Like if LeBron's playing on Christmas Day, people are going to watch that game whether the Lakers are in it or not.
I'm going to stop you right there, though. Those are completely different because it's a professional sport and it's a not professional sport. And with 136 teams at the Division I FBS level now, you have to have some kind of determiner, like kind of an identifier of.
But why do you need it before the season?
Now, I'm saying if you are remembering that football games are television shows, And
I
remember that Miami was ranked in the top 10 for the opener. Why? So that ABC could say number 6 Notre Dame, number 10 Miami. It's a top 10 matchup.
But it's Miami and Notre Dame. What does it matter?
Yeah, it matters because of Seth in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, who's 22 years old, and he's looking for something to watch. And he said, oh, okay. And maybe Seth is a casual, right? He doesn't know the history. He's not steeped in college football tradition. And he's going to see 6 and 10, and it's on the Sunday night of Labor Day weekend, and everything is pushing there. But those little numbers in front of the team also continue to push people forward. I see the value, even if I don't necessarily agree with wanting to have it.
Seth, at 22 years old, has been on TikTok. He's seen all the hype. He doesn't need numbers by names. Okay, Seth is a bobo if he needs the numbers by names.
All right. I mean, in your hypothetical, Seth is more worldly than in my hypothetical, which is potentially true. And I'm not saying that they don't exist, but like I can see from all of the media partners and all of the sports outlets, I can see the value of it, even if, like you, I disagree with it and wish that we did not rank teams until, 4 games had been played or the end of September. We are synergistic in that even with my agreement with you, I also see what they're talking about. That's all I'm saying.
Fine. Get off the fence, Cam. Pick a side.
Wow. you told me to breathe and woosah when I picked a side before about penalties. Jerk face. Whatever. Get out of here.
Jerk face. By the way, this would have been jerk face.
Yeah.
This is serious media member right here.
And look, he was counting down in Espanol, and then he got to what we started recording again, and it was silent, and I was looking down at my, and I had to look back up, and I just see him over there like clutching his chest and laughing. I'm like, why are you not talking? Like, what's going on here? Was I supposed to lead in? Anyway.
No.
So that's my thought on that.
All right. Now here's something that's been bubbling on the Twitter sphere. I don't want to get into names. I'm not gonna like single people out, even though I'd like to. Because I just don't want to get into any. I don't want to. It's not whatever. It's not important.
Okay.
But over the course of time, we've seen the proliferation of these online media sites that cover college teams, right? Since the early days, right? Since I was on Grassy.com in the computer lab at Eaton Residential College, trying to find out what was going on at practice, right? With who was Ray Lewis having a good day at practice, or was I'm trying to think of Rod Mack having a good day at practice. I would log on to Grassy.com. So we've been dealing with this for almost 30 years, just about 30 years of media sites covering college football, and all of them put in work. All of them have great content. All of them do all sorts of stuff. And people have to understand that a lot of these sites spend a lot of time and effort in covering recruiting. Recruiting is a big thing, right? We all care about the recruiting. And because of that, there's a give and take that happens in the relationship between the sites that cover recruiting and spend a lot of time putting recruiting info out there, and the football staff that they may or may not get info from on said recruits, right? Who are we looking at? Who is rising up the board? Who is coming down the board? Who are we going to offer? All of this stuff, right? And you realize like this business that we are in is all about relationships. And if you want to make sure your relationships are sound and rock solid, then sometimes there's backs that have to be patted both ways. So the way it kind of goes is if I'm Chuck and I run, it's a Canes thing, you wouldn't understand awesomeness.com, which is just a wonderful name for a website. And I need to talk to, X staffer or that staffer about recruiting, and I need to get all the info. Who are the visitors? Who are they high on? All of that stuff. Well, then when it comes to other stuff, I may have to toe the company line. If there's a player hurt, if there's a player suspended, if a player, did something off the field, what have you, I may have to kind of look the other way and not necessarily throw the whole truth out there, because those in power don't want it out there for whatever reason. And I have to walk that line. And yes, does that kind of throw up in the air journalism ethics and morals? It does, without a doubt. But if you know the people we're talking about, you're probably like, well, they don't have morals or ethics anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Personally, I can think of when I was on, the only time I've ever had to do this was when I was on the radio broadcast. I will give you a specific example. When I was a sideline reporter in 2002 for the Miami Hurricanes, in the Rutgers game, Ken Dorsey hurt his arm. Is the statute of limitations up on this? It's 23 years ago, Ken.
I would hope, but I mean, this is your soapbox. I'm just listening. I believe,
if I can recall back, Ken Dorsey actually had like a minor fracture in his arm and came out. I forget who the backup was, whether it was Derek Crudup or whoever finished the game against Rutgers, or Ken might have even got it back out there, but like handed the ball off. He had a break in his arm. I talked to Dr. Uribe, who was the team doctor at the time, talked to some other people on the sideline. Hey, what's the injury? Blah, blah, blah. And was told very specifically, you're not going to say that it's a break in his arm. You're going to say it's a sprain. You're going to say it's a bruise, whatever it was. And what did I do? Went on the air. Hey, Joe, throw it down to me. Hey, guys, down here on the sideline. Yeah, Ken Dorsey just got nicked up on the sideline. Looks like he hurt his throwing hand, but nothing major. Maybe a bruise, maybe a kind of sprain. He'll be back. Blah, blah, blah. Back to you guys. That was the report. When in my head, I knew that it was kind of a break. Now, in the end, it healed up fast. It didn't impact them. They went to the national championship game. We don't have to talk about that. So in the scheme of things, it wasn't a big deal. But yes, that was a time that I had to suck it up and toe the company line because I needed to be in the good graces of the coaching staff in order to do my job as a sideline reporter. And that's how this goes. It's a transactional thing. Chuck, that runs the website, is going to have to, whatever, a player is missing practice because, he took, he took someone else's desk chair. All of a sudden that becomes, he got nicked up on the knee, or he's got bruised. He's fine. He'll be back. Things like that happen. And I felt like that needed to be told because I see people arguing about reports about players and things and not understanding why someone is saying this when the reality of this is something else.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, there are times that you can tell the whole truth, and there's times that you can, put something out there, but, hold back some other things. I get it. And that is just kind of the way that the world works. And, if you just want, it's the thing that sometimes people talk about in relationships is like, no, I just want the full unfettered truth. Like, don't take into account my feelings or how this would just just blurt the truth. And I mean, you can live like that if you want to, but like there will be consequences, repercussions, and, fallout and feelings elsewhere. I don't have strong feelings. I honestly was just listening because I didn't even know where you were going with that rant or whatever. But yeah, I mean, just like if you think that if a person were to think that any and everything that they hear is just like the full chapter and verse of everything that's going on, I think they would be a little bit naive to believe that.
I would also say this: football coaches, all coaches in sports at the high levels, for the most part, are kind of psychotic.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be to grind 20 hours a day, right? Like you can't be, you got to have like at least a half a screw loose to be able to be able to work 20 hours a day nonstop, right? And a lot of them just kind of put too much emphasis on injury news. Like, I get it. If your star quarterback is hurt, you don't want anyone knowing that. If your four-string defensive back is hurt, does it really matter if anyone knows that or not? Not really.
Yeah, but also, like, it's just the way how you do anything is how you do everything.
Correct. 1,000%.
So upper extremity or lower extremity, it's going to be. Thanks.
Oh, Man, when that was instituted, when Randy Shannon was head coach, I lost my mind. Like, you look down at the injury report and it's like upper extremity, lower extremity. And it's like, really? Like, just say ankle. Like, everyone watched the tape. Everyone watched, like,
no.
Everyone saw the game last week and saw the guy holding his knee. But no, we can't say knee because, whatever reason.
Is it above or below the waist? That will determine.
That is correct.
And look, I mean, even though I know that your arms hang below your waist, but you know what I mean. If the body part originates above or below the waist, that is going to be how we are going to classify.
I have short arms. My arms don't hang below my waist. I'm like a T-Rex.
Oh,
exactly.
Okay.
Here's another thing that I will say to finish this off, which is, can't we all just get along?
No.
Like, we don't need, like, why are we going after each other on X? Like, it's no fun. Can we, like, we're 5-0, people. Like, we're undefeated. This team is really good. Like, we're on the midst of a good season. Can we just like sing Kumbaya, please? Can't we?
Look, people are going to do what they're going to do. And I mean, hey, I'm sure that there are people who are watching and listening to this show and be like, why is Cam so worked up about these penalties? Why do we continue to nitpick about the lack of explosive plays before the Florida State game? Why do we do it? Because it's what we do. It's what people do. So, I am not a party to whatever name calling and shenanigans and, stuff on social that, predicated you getting into this conversation. I think it's a reasonable conversation, but yeah, look, hey, we're going to continue to wrap up this bye week. We're going to look ahead to next Friday night. And the last thing that I'll say, on just overall, for everyone who is listening and watching this, who's a Miami Hurricanes fan, you have wanted your team to be this kind of good for a long time. This is better than last year. This is better than 2017, which was smoke and mirrors the whole entire way.
Correct, 1000%.
Until it fell apart, and I was screaming from the rooftops, oh, you just want to win games. I say all that to say Miami has 8 home games this year, and 4 of them are already passed. So there are 4 more regular season, because I know what you're going to say. Regular season home games. You're going to want to be there on Friday of next week, and then the Saturday after that when we play Stanford. Get yourselves together and get to Hard Rock Stadium, because I don't want to hear from people in January or in February and March, man, I wish that there was a game and we got to do these off-season topics and recruiting and spring practice and mat drills. I just wish that there was a game. There are 4 more home games for one of the best teams in college football in front of you. Find your way to Hard Rock Stadium and support this team in person, because I don't want to hear it later when you cry and complain that there are no games, when the games are here and the team is incredible and you're electing not to be there. Stop it.
What Cam said, by the way, I totally agree. I don't know what I was going to say. I don't know why I was about to jump on something. I don't know. It'll come to me like later at like 3:00 in the morning.
Okay.
We won't have a podcast. We won't have a podcast then, but it'll come to me.
I will not be getting awake and out of my comfortable bed to talk about Brian the Beast London's random thoughts at 3:15 in the morning.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please do us a favor. Subscribe wherever you are watching or listening. If there's a thumb, you can do the thumbs up, or you can like, or you can heart, whatever it is. Share this, feel free to throw it to whoever you know that likes the Miami Hurricanes. And if you make a comment, we would love that. We'll go back and forth. I try to go in every week and respond to everyone that comments on the YouTube. So do that, and we can have a little conversation. And sometimes we pull our topics from people that comment on things. So there you go. Do all that. All right. For my partner in crime, who is much better looking than I am, he is Cam Underwood from State of the U. Go check out stateoftheu.com. Follow Cam at Underwood Sports. I'm Brian the Beast London. Follow me at Miami Radio Beast. We will see you next time right here on the Real Ones Canes podcast. Peace.